Coaches Show presented by Central National Bank. Let's give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for the week. Don't let pain slow you down. We diagnose and treat sports-related injuries and provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike. Visit a Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Specialist and move like you used to. Folks, as we turn the half hour, join me in welcoming Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda to Rudy's tonight. Good to see you.
No, it's good to be here.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Last time you were on, we asked about the morning practice schedule, the change to morning. Is it as good as you hoped? Is it working out as well as you want it to?
Yeah, I love it. You know, there's a lot of coffee consumption. I think I'm about like 8 to 10 cups deep. You know, but yeah, I love it. I love waking up and just going right into football, and our kids love it too because they feel the same way, and you know, they're free the rest of the day for school. A lot of them stop by afterwards, after school's out for little film time and stuff like that. So we're in a good rhythm right now. Yeah. I think the first week was tough. There was a bunch of kind of zombies just with the time. Because I think you, as coaches, you roll in around 4:30, 4 o'clock, something like that, to get ready for a 7 a.m. meeting. And we're kind of all used to it now.
Wow. Yep. So you guys, the coaches are there that early. The team is there by 7 or before?
Yeah, 7 a.m. is the team meet. And so a lot of guys are getting taped and everything else, you know, prior to 6, so 5:30 on. Yeah, so it's early mornings.
Great. And the move to the new Fudge Football Development Center, that place is just fantastic.
It's so cool. You know, at the just the features that it has, the ability to teach, and then you just have there's so much pride that comes with stuff that's nice, you know, and it's just it helps you teach better, and the players walk in a little bit straighter and all this other thing when they're around it, and so it's so special, and I feel so blessed to have it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. What's the best part of it?
The weight room.
The weight room. Yeah. Biggest? Can we say biggest in Texas?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Biggest in the nation?
It's biggest in the state.
In the state of Texas.
Yeah, in the state of Texas. Yeah. And so you know, our guys will use every inch of it. Yeah. And when they're working out there, the music's rocking, and it's to walk in there, and that's the first thing you see, and it's so massive and so grand that it sends the right message. Yeah. So it's a good thing to see.
That's terrific. All right, we haven't had you here since before Tarleton. A win over Tarleton to start. Came up short last week against Utah out there. A really good Utah team. Where are you right now through the two games?
I feel like the team is in a spot where they are really hungry. They're frustrated and upset about the last performance, and you know, they're ready to prove people wrong and to show what they can do. And so when you talk to them, you know, during that whole first quarter, second quarter, all through the rest of the game. At Utah, I'm talking to the defense, and I could just see that, you know, I'm going, hey, we got to get a stop. We're going to get this stop right now. And I could just see all 11 guys make eye contact with me, you know, and just every word that I said, we were all right here the whole time. And so that's just a way cool feeling. When I'm in the meetings, I feel that same way. Yeah. And so it's a good feeling to have. I think the bright lights of that game on Saturday, I think, got some people initially, and we're making mistakes that really we hadn't made all throughout practice, all throughout, you know, the first game and all of it. And so there's a lot to learn from there. We've been really hitting that hard, and I feel confident about moving forward. It's a really good Air Force team. They're going to make you execute. They're talented. They play hard. They're going to be where they need to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you have to out-execute them, and so for us, where we're at, this team is a great competitor because it'll bring out our best.
To me, it seems like it's building blocks. Game one, what you learned there, you build on that for game two, and you got stuff to build on from game two, moving to game three. Do you sort of see it that way?
I do. You know, so I can talk both offense and defense. I think offensively in this last game, you know, so many struggles, especially early. And then once we're able to get the run game going, it opened up a whole bunch, you know, and we're able to move the line of scrimmage. We're able to open up the screen throws and the RPO throws, and really open up the offense. I think early on in the game, we were not running the ball effectively, and so they're able to see what was, make adjustments, and sometimes the adjustment is a mindset shift, or is a knuckling down, or is a, hey, we made an out call here, we need to make a squeeze call here instead. And you can do this with all the iPad and all the video. I know defensively, the adjustments that we had to make was ongoing. I think it's tough for me because there's stuff going on offense that I really want to see, but we're back there making adjustments to what's happening. But I think that was so critical because that was able to get us in a phase where we were playing defense better, And so I think when all of that's happening and we're seeing it, communicating it, they're getting it and applying it, and everyone's working together to get better, I think that's a continuous thing. That doesn't just stop on Saturday. That continues throughout the week, and people feel the urgency of getting better, so it's a good thing.
23-12 was the final, but two of the scores by Utah. One was on a blocked field goal, returned for a touchdown. Another was a strip sack and a 3-yard drive. So, that's 14 points right there. I guess they missed an extra point, so 13 points. Mm-hmm. But the defense, I think, did really, really well the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the guys fought hard. I thought our execution needs to be better. I think that and then I think we've got to be able to play more younger players in the game. In the first game we played a bunch of people. In this game we really kind of played the starters. At that last drive we had an opportunity to get off the field, give our offense yet another opportunity, and we couldn't do it until a couple conversions later. And I think if we would have played younger guys earlier in the game, our starters would be fresh. There was a timeout, and we're calling the defense up, and Matt Jones is like on all fours, just barely being able to breathe. We had a couple other guys that are that way, so they put it all out there. But, we've got to get some guys more up to speed in terms of execution and counting on and trusting and all that, so that they're in those moments. And so I think there's some growth that needs to happen there. And then, I think we can get to where we're a defense that we need to be.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. Back with more with Coach Dave Aranda right after this, where it's the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's, presented by Central National Bank. Central National Bank, your leading independent bank, and we'll be right back in just a moment. And back live from Rudy's, the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank. We continue with Coach Dave Aranda, Baylor football, Baylor and Air Force coming up on Saturday. A lot going on with this game. It's a mission black ops game. I think you guys are going to pull out some uniforms that we haven't seen before. That'll be fun to see. Fans are encouraged to wear black to the game. It is family weekend on the Baylor campus also. The 1974 team is having a 50th year reunion. That's cool. Really cool.
It is.
I know you know some of that history in that story.
And so many guys coming back.
Yeah.
That is such a cool thing. I mean, that's really what it's all about. When you have those types of relationships and they stay for that long, and then you're asked to come back, and just about everybody comes back. Yeah. It's just so cool.
Yeah, 50 years, and they've got over 60 guys, members of that team, that are going to be here this weekend. So a lot going on with the game, a 6:30 kickoff Central Time against an Air Force team you saw a couple of years ago in the bowl game. How are they, as you look at them on tape? They're 1-1 also.
Yeah, they they play really hard. They make you execute. They don't make mistakes. They've got good skill at the receiver spot that will challenge you, because you have to play cover 0 against them, and so it's 11 on 11. And so if it's right off the bat, it's a one-on-one throw, and so if the quarterback can get it there and everything else, they've got guys that can come down with it. Their quarterback's a little bit better of a thrower than in the past. He's not as adept at running as in the past. They've I think it's like 10 of 11 starters are new, offensively. Wow. And so they're really kind of redoing everything. I think there's a lot of growing pains and all of it. We know a little bit about that, and so they're kind of in that phase of it right now. But this is a team that's won 9, 10, whatever games every year, and so they're not wanting to take 2 in a row, and we got to give it to them.
I don't think we're giving away any secrets here. You kind of worked on Air Force through fall camp, or worked on the triple option. So you've had some time there looking ahead, working on them. Do you have more time working on them this year than you did even preparing for that bowl game 2 years ago?
Yeah. The bowl game, I think we had like maybe 2 weeks to prepare for it. And so this time we've had since January, and so it's been really good. We've had some coaches that have come in and helped, and we're on constant communication with them, guys that play that style of offense all the time, and then our ability to work on it really since January. We've been working on it since January, and so it kind of has to be that way because it's just everything's just the reverse, Whereas typically we would key a fullback or a running back. Here we key the quarterback, which side he opens. Usually we take up blocks up high. Here you have to take blocks down low because they're going to cut you, and so there's just so much that's the opposite. And so to get as many reps at that as possible, it's way important to do. But, you take a lot of pride in defending an offense like this because it really makes it where everybody's got to do their job. The accountability and discipline part is just so strong. And, coming off of this week, right, our discipline and our accountability would be just that much greater just because of the urgency to meet all the requirements for this one. It kind of sets the bar really high. So you always enjoy when the game is over with, playing one of these teams that really make you have to execute at a real high level.
Is this another game? Last week was sort of like this, where you might have limited snaps, limited possessions.
Yes. Yeah. They'll go. So if you think about it, right, first down 3 yards, second down 3 yards, third down 3 yards, and then they're fourth down is a gimme there, and so they're going for it, and so that's how they live, and so that first down, so is it 2nd and 7? Is it 2nd and 6? Or is it 2nd and 8? Or is it 2nd and 9? That's really a big tell in the game, And your best third down defense is going to be your first down defense. And, they'll get into where there's a bunch of tight ends and stuff, and they'll run a fullback dive. We were talking about that earlier. 2 years ago, they ran too much of that. And then they'll run quarterback sneak, and all these plays are hard to defend when you're defending, couple inches or a yard, and so our ability to get off the field is going to be critical so our offense can get into a rhythm and get going. We desperately need to do that.
I'm always interested in your connections, like Andy Ludwig last week
Yes.
at Utah. What about Troy Calhoun or anybody on their staff?
Yeah, there's a coach on their staff, Nick Toth, I've known for a long time. He used to coach at Fresno and is a defensive guy, and we've shared a bunch of ideas and things before, and just He's been on that staff now for a couple of years, and I've got so much respect for him. And then through him, knowing Coach Calhoun, and obviously in the bowl game a couple of years ago, it's just such a man of integrity and all of it. And so it's just it's cool to see a team that plays that's reflective of him, just because of the way that he leads and the way that he is. It's a team that's hard to beat.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, questions from the audience for Coach Aranda. We'll get to those when we come back. We are live at Rudy's. It's the Baylor Coaches Show, presented by Central National Bank. Stay with us. We'll be right back. On the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's, presented by Central National Bank. Baylor and Air Force on Saturday. Premier ER and Urgent Care is our game sponsor for the game on Saturday. And we talked about all the things, wrapped up in this game. Really, a whole weekend of activities. That'll be fun. And, Coach, we've got some questions for you from the audience. You ready?
Ready.
Noni Orozco. Noni is right there, and he says, how has using tempo offense changed the analytics on third and fourth down?
It has, yeah, because I think there's times when you're going that fast, you don't know if you got the first down if it's so fast, right? If it's 2nd and 3, or it's a 3rd and 2, and you're going fast, you don't. If you're getting the call in and you're going the warp speed that is our fastest tempo, you don't know, so you're calling and you're rolling. And so I think that you looked at the last game that we played, when we were going fast, that was when we were playing our best, because that's kind of what we're used to doing. And so I think some lessons learned with there is like, hey, if this is us, let's be us regardless of where it is. And so there's going to be some tempo in this game. And whenever you're facing teams that can ground and pound the clock out, right? There's always the issue of, hey, how much tempo do we do, right? We could be out fast, and these people could be on the field long. But I think we're at our best when we're going with some tempo, so we're going to attempt to do that more. But that's a good question, because it does affect it. Because there's times where it's that quick and they haven't set the chains yet, and you got to go.
Yeah. Faster than the chain crew can get set up. Tommy Grusendorf right there. Tommy asked about running quarterback, so important in this offense. How do you feel about your quarterback play through the first 2 games?
I think it can get better. I think that there's flashes that we've seen that show promise. You look at the first series of the first game, and there's a couple other instances in there where there's a touchdown to Trigg also in that first game. There's pressure in the face, and there's a great throw, and it's right there in the corner of the end zone. So there's a couple examples like that. We got to build on those things. I think that the ability to have a pocket presence when there's pressure and there's movement, to kind of stay still until you don't need to stay still, right? And so to take your reads and get the throw off, and then if it ain't there, after you've been able to kind of calmly survey, then get out. I think that's what we're trying to do. All right, right now we're in the in-between of that. We're panicking too much in the pocket, and then when it's time to get out, we don't get out. And so we want to be able to see our reads, right, know where the ball's supposed to go, and then if it is broken down, then let's go, because that can be an advantage for us, the way we're built.
Good question. Thanks, Tommy. Luzette Berry is right here, and she asked, will any injured players be back for the Air Force game?
Bryson Washington will be back. He's a running back for us, and is really one of our better players on our team. And so he's going to make a significant difference in this game. Really physical, has got good speed, but just his physicality, Dawson brings some of this for us right now, and I think Bryson continues in that mold of just really hitting it downhill, making contact, going forward, and not going back. He's got the ability also to make people miss in the open field, which I think separates him a little bit. So I've got really high hopes for him. I think he's someone where we used to have Abram Smith in the past, where if the ball's on the perimeter there and it's a one-on-one thing, it'll be this, and Abram would fall forward, and that would engage the sideline and roll. And Bryson's got a little bit of that in him too, and so we're looking forward to that. And then Tizino is a D lineman that's back. He hasn't really been with us since the start of the year, so he's practicing, and he's going to be in the rotation, and we're looking forward to using him a lot. We're going to need him. Like we talked about with some of the depth to be able to roll guys and keep guys fresh. He's a potential starter, so to get him back in the mode and get him back in the swing of things is going to be good for us, good for him too.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Bryson Washington out there.
He's exciting.
Ooh,
yeah.
That'll be great. Dr. Wood, James Wood, asked, after evaluating the first 2 games, what is the staff's opinion why there is very little offensive production?
Yeah, so I think it starts with we got to have better quarterback play. I think part of that, though, is our run game has to be established from the beginning. I think the run game is what sets everything. We're really not a drop-back pass offense, and we're really not a run into loaded box offense. We're a run, and then if they load the box, we're reading the guy, and if he's up, we're throwing it down. If he's down, we're throwing it up. If he's in, we're throwing it out. And so the run starts all of that. It forces guys to have to come in, where the easy throws and the blocking on the perimeter and the rhythm starts. And so to get the run game going, I think can get the quarterback into a rhythm, and it can be a protector for him. But I do think, though, we talked about pocket presence. I think that is an area that when we are throwing it, we have to be better. When we're trying to throw it, let's throw it, and when that's not there, let's run it, and let's do it in that order.
Final question from Mark Berry. Mark is right here. Are players motivated by special promotions like the Mission Black Ops?
Yeah, you betcha, man. They're all excited about that. Yeah. Yeah, they're all fired up about that. They want to do that every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want, and so they're excited for that. I know that it's just so cool with Baylor Athletics and Baylor just having the opportunity to bring some jerseys like this to the forefront, and it's since we've been here, it's been something that we've talked about. So it's really cool to see. I'm excited for it, and I know that the fans are gonna like it, but our guys love it.
That's cool. That's another aspect this weekend. Salute to service, and we should all do that more than we do, but that'll be great to do that this weekend. Coach, thanks. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Coach Dave
Thank you,
Aranda.
guys.